What's groovy, y'all? I'm Donye.
And I'm Marcia, and this is the
Hey Sissy Podcast.
Hey sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy,
peace to the haters.
Go,
bye, see you later.
Hey,
you my road dog, sis, we are greater.
Hey,
holding it down, and you know we stay true.
Hey,
Fam to the end is how we do.
Hey,
Fam to the end is how we do.
Hey,
Fam to the end is how we do.
Hey sissy, go sissy. Hey sissy, go sissy. Go, 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 go. Go.
We the bomb, let's go sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go sissy.
Hey.
We the bomb, let's go sissy.
Hey.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. We appreciate you for tuning in with us. Today we have somewhat of a controversial topic, depending on who you ask, your beliefs, and all that. What are we talking about, Donye?
Sexuality. Whoa.
So just to kick it off and provide a little definition, sexuality is just your personal preference or identity. How you view yourself sexually and who you love sexually.
Yes. So, do you believe that sexuality is fluid?
I believe that in a way, or I don't know, child. I do believe that people who they love can change just depending on where they are in their lifetime. Some people are strictly hetero, some people are strictly homo, some people can be bisexual, and I think some people are just figuring it out as they go along.
Right. So, like, when it comes to that, like a person maybe they start off maybe being homosexual and they become hetero or vice versa. Do you think that was always in them and they were just experimenting? Do you think, there's always that conversation that people was born that way? Where do you think the fluidity comes from? Do you think it's in the person, it's developed, there's influence, all of the above?
All of the above.
Okay.
And we've all heard stories of women who have kissed other girls and things like that. Like, it's real cool and cute for women to kiss a girl in college or, have a quick fling or something with a girl. But if a man be like, oh yeah, I used to date a dude back in college, everybody be like, pause, stop, quit, no, do not pass go, do not collect $200, stop right there. And so there is a bit of a double standard in it. And I think it is interesting. I think a lot of people growing up, you are experimental in trying to discover who you are.
Right.
So I feel like if you kissed a girl or a guy one time and was like, that was cool, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. But if you keep returning to it or going back and forth, then maybe you should reevaluate what you think your sexuality is.
I agree. That's why I think that where they're going into the next question, I think that's where like femininity and masculinity come in as how we define it. And also, does it change when we talk about sexuality? You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I don't really think, for me, femininity and masculinity, it can encompass different things. It can entitle like characteristics or responsibility. It all depends on how you define it. How do you define like being feminine or masculine?
I mean, traditionally, that's pretty much the definition we all tend to go by. Traditionally, being feminine means to be dainty and wear pink and caretaking, real just stereotypical stuff. And masculinity tends to be like strong and burly and protective and do hard work and drive fast cars and like loose women. I don't know. But really, I think femininity and masculinity, like bare bones, is just being a female and being a male. Like there's a lot of stereotypes that we put on those characters, those roles, I guess.
Yes.
But really, at the end of the day, it's like just do you. But if you're female, you're feminine. If you're a male, you're masculine. Boom, done.
So do you think it makes you any less of a man or any less of a woman based on how you dress? Because I know a lot of times we tend to define people's sexuality based off of their physical appearance. So do you think that is like a given on how people, or you just think that's just a stereotype, or that's just,
It's all cultural stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
So our current standard for
Mhm.
men is pants
Mm-hmm.
and t-shirts to identify a man for the most part.
Yes.
The style of pants you wear. If you wear skinny jeans, somebody might question, as a man, somebody might question your sexuality. Although now skinny jeans are more popular for men. So now it's really how tight are your skinny jeans determines how much of a man you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you tend to wear like, like loose fitting shirts or, just a cut that people traditionally associate with women, then they're going to say you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
And for women, if you start dressing like what people consider men, just like baggy clothes, shorts, and Jordans and kicks and stuff like that, then they gonna be like, oh, that chick's a stud or whatever.
Right.
So that's just currently, but as we all know, back in the day, standards of dress for men and women were different. Like,
they were.
in Greece and ancient Roman times, men and women both wore dresses.
They
the
did.
style of dress they wore varied to identify a man and a woman, but everybody was wearing
dress,
like togas or whatever they were called.
That's very true. I think that's very surface to define someone's sexuality based off of what they wear, because a lot of times there are a lot of lesbians who dress very feminine per se, but they like women. And even on the men's side, there are men who are very masculine, who are very strong, who are very gritty, but they are, they are gay, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that is a barrier that, some people have up or should be tore down, to not defining someone's sexuality based off of their clothes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a natural thing or a learned thing where we classify people by certain characteristics. I feel like it may be slightly natural because we classify, dogs versus cats, and then the type of dogs in that way. So I don't know if we just grow up identifying certain characteristics for a certain type of people, and therefore be like, okay, well, kids even know that women have boobs and men don't. That's just a way to separate and classify and understand. So I wonder if it's just something we just naturally do, and as we get older, the problem may be that we're maybe stick to them too harshly.
Yeah.
And we don't allow for any alternatives or any leeway in those descriptions.
I think it's both. I think it's natural, but also learned. I think, just through observation and, as we come out the womb, we don't know what we are. We don't understand anything in the world.
Yeah.
That's why I would say it's learned. That as we get older, we start to notice things. That's why I think the natural aspect of it comes in, where we notice things are different from observation. But I think where the learned behavior comes in is when we're being told, you're a girl, he's a boy, this is for girls, this is for boys. So I think it's both natural and it's learned, different aspects of it.
Yeah. And
also I think that there are some men who are, I guess, considered metrosexual, but they are heterosexual. They're groomed, they're polished, they have feminine tendencies, but they are only attracted to women.
So I want to clarify, because you said they have feminine tendencies.
Okay.
So what is a feminine tendency?
Dad, that's good. Okay. So let me just point this out. I noticed with a lot of gay men, they have this thing with their voice. I don't know if that's something they just practice and that happens, or if it's developed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think, women, we tend to talk with our hands a lot. We put a little more emphasis on it. We do sway a little more when we walk. The way we sit, we curtsy, or not curtsy, whatever you call this. We do this, cross our legs, hands on our hip, the way we cock our hip when we stand.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess the way we stand, our positioning, our movement, I guess is a little more.
I think that's all learned though.
Oh, okay. Well then.
I just think it is because you see how people around you act. Like if you ever notice, you see like a girl and her mom, they have the same movements and tendencies. And I think that's just because growing up watching her mama, she learned that. And to her, that's how a woman may act. So like for metrosexuals, we associate, it's weird that we would associate being well-groomed to being feminine.
Right.
So we're like, oh, men out here getting manicures, that's feminine. But it's like, you just want to make sure your nails aren't raggedy and dirty. So that shouldn't be a feminine trait, that should just be a trait of a well-groomed person. Because there's some women out here who don't get no manicures, pedicures, or anything like that. So it should just be well-groomed men. It's just funny we have to come up with a saying for it. I don't even know what metrosexual means.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, a well-groomed man is like, oh, could he be gay? Oh, he likes women, so maybe not.
Right.
So it's weird.
I think that goes back to defining masculinity and femininity.
Yes.
We assume men are more grittier, they're dirtier, they're getting their hands dirty, they don't shave as much and stuff like that. And then women, they shave, they get their nails, and they always get their hair done. I think that also goes to how do you define those two things?
Yeah.
You know, but nowadays, men are really grooming themselves. The things they do at the barber now, getting the things on their face.
Oh, the man units, child.
Oh, yes. Hello. Yes.
Okay.
But you see how you did that? You know, is that a learned thing or?
Yeah, that's definitely a learned thing.
Okay.
That's definitely a learned thing.
So if you seen a man do that, would you assume he was gay or?
No, I'd assume he got a unit on.
Oh.
His hand, if he his scalp itchy, you can't reach it.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I think like back in the day, the definitions were very stern and very traditional.
Yes.
But I think now, because things are kind of dissolving, that it's becoming a little more open and fluid. So it's not as, it's evolving. So it's being defined as many things.
Yeah, I think people are just, as the world changes and you get to communicate with more people, I think people are just trying to buck the very stringent labels that have been placed on them.
Right.
Boy and girl, man and woman, gay or straight. People are like, there is a wide range of personalities and things like that. So they're like, you're not just gonna put me into one or two boxes. I'm gonna make a new box for me because I know that I'm just a little bit different than what is standard.
Right. All right. So do outside influences or inside influences affect a person's sexuality more? Meaning outside influence could be media, friends, school, whatever the case may be. Inside influences could be religion, family.
I think those are all still outside.
Oh, they're all inside. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Inside influence would just be what you think internally.
Okay.
Or maybe, So I think all of the above. Anything could affect your sexuality, I believe. A lot of people believe that you're born with your sexuality. I think that may be the case for a lot of people. Some people's sexualities develop because of trauma. Some people's sexualities just develop because they, want to explore new options. Or, like you say, religion is a good one. People be denying their sexualities because of religion. They do allow religion to force them into a very specific box. So, yeah. So, like, in saying that, like, do you believe people are born gay, or do you think, I think they've done studies on trying to show a gay gene. As far as I know, they haven't proven that there is one or not. Right. What they have proven is that the level of testosterone or estrogen in your DNA or in your system, the hormones, will determine like your level of masculinity or femininity. It's kind of I'm not going to explain it very well, but there's this Netflix docuseries called Babies. Oh, okay. Is that what? No. The 9 months that made you. Oh, okay. That's what it's called. Okay. And so they do talk about, because we all know that there are people who, if they have 2 Y chromosomes, then they're like considered male but sterile. They have 2 X chromosomes and they're considered female but sterile. Or if they, then there's this chromosomes I can't remember that make hermaphrodites, people with both parts. That's not right. Yeah. Women are XX and men are XY. Yeah. And hermaphrodites are XXY. That's what I said. I couldn't remember which the combination of chromosomes. Oh, but sterile means like they're not reproductive, right? Yeah. It's DNA. You're right. 2 X and a Y does make a hermaphrodite. But, and then 2 X and 2 Ys does something too. Oh, okay. That's your chromosomes. And then the level of hormones in your body. That does determine, they say it determines whether you are more masculine or feminine. Because testosterone does affect how men act versus how women act.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't acknowledge that. So like, if you have too much testosterone for a man, you tend to be a lot more riskier than is safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you tend to have a lot less fear than a lot of people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then if you have too much estrogen as a woman, as a man, I can't remember what the result is of that. Or if you have too much testosterone as a woman, you tend to have more masculine features. What we associate with masculine features, like a strong jawline, or you don't develop breasts,
right?
Things like that,
right? Yeah, some people who are androgynous, I guess they have. Yes. For women, have a little more testosterone because they don't develop, I guess, those softer features, but they're still a woman. Yeah, I think that goes back to that question of defining femininity, masculinity, being male or female, because does it make you any less of a woman if you maybe not have as bigger breasts or stronger jawline? I don't think so. That's why, when you define someone's sexuality based off their physical appearance, that's really hard, because when you get to know someone, you're just like, whoa. I think that happens with me a lot. I dress a little more masculine, per se. Yeah. And everybody automatically assumes I'm a lesbian. Yeah. And I'm not. So because of that, I think we have to, kind of change that aspect of our minds of defining people based off of their physical out appearance of what they wear. You know?
Because if you're androgynous, you don't get to determine what you look like. Right. That's just genetics. And also people forget about genetics as a play. They do associate having bigger boobs or a bigger butt as being female, or having hips. There are men with hips and they can't do nothing about it. Nothing. They got their hips from whoever they got them from, and they just deal with it. And if you're a small-chested woman, you're still a woman. Yeah. It's not your fault.
I think that kind of keeps us a little closed in. Because I've noticed there's this challenge called Flip the Switch, on TikTok, where, people are
using Drake's song. I just flipped the switch.
Flip, whatever. And they switch clothes or something like that. And I noticed some people are have been bothered by men switching into their significant other's clothing, like their wives or their girlfriends. Some people are bothered by it, and they're calling them gay. And I'm just
hotness.
How do you feel your masculinity, you're being demasculated by another man putting on a dress for all of 2 minutes? I don't understand that.
Yeah, and changing clothes doesn't make you gay. The only thing that makes you gay is if you like your same sex. Yes. That's really the only classification for it. As long as these people ain't having sex with the same sex, they're not gay. You changing clothes is just a fun TikTok challenge.
It is. So for me, I just think that if you feel demasculated by not even yourself, but another man putting on a dress, then how are you defining masculinity? How are you defining sexuality? Because if my husband put on a dress for 2 minutes and he became gay, then that was something that he'd been dealing with. Ain't no way you put on a dress for 2 minutes and then you have this, revelation that you just want to be gay in that moment. You've been having that, that has been a reoccurring thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't just suddenly become gay. That is funny, yeah. And a lot of people really do be worried about what other people be doing in their homes. Worry about your own home. So, the craziest things, you see the craziest things on the internet, child. Yes. There was this video of this little boy and his daddy jamming in the kitchen. The little boy seasoning of ribs, they dancing and singing, just having a good old Saturday. Right. And Kevin on stage did a video about it. It was see, this is love. This is black boy joy. And then somebody commented talking about, you're not supposed to love your sons too much. That's how they turn out gay.
Oh, what?
Say what now?
That don't even make sense.
That don't even make sense. So you're not supposed to love your child so he don't come out gay? What?
That ain't gonna stop nothing.
No. What?
You know what that makes me think about? People be like, oh, I don't want my child being around no homosexuals around that stuff because I don't want them to come out gay. You can't control that. That is your child's decision. There have been plenty of times where kids are raised in homosexual households who are heterosexual, not come out, but who are heterosexual, and vice versa. There are plenty of heterosexual households where kids are gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, yes, this actually goes into the next question. do the way parents raise their children control their kids' sexuality? So it can influence, but at the end of the day, the kid is going to really choose their preference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you think about it, when kids are younger, they interact with the same sex all the time more than they do the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
Girls are usually friends with other girls. Boys are usually friends with other boys. Girls are playing with Barbie dolls, same-sex toys. Boys are playing with same-sex toys.
G.I. Joes and little army men.
You know what I'm saying? And we choose to separate the two genders when they're younger. You know what I'm saying? So if, you know, sexuality was a matter of who your kid, like, you know, play with and stuff like that, then every boy would be gay and every girl would be a lesbian, because we start off playing with same-sex, everything is same-sex interaction. You know, we start off loving our mommies, and boys are more prone to be with their dads. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's more same-sex tendencies than, you know, heterosexual tendencies. You know what I'm saying? So, do you believe the way parents raise their kids control their sexuality?
In some regards, I think it can have some influence.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, of course, we know people deny their sexuality
Mm-hmm.
or force the sexuality upon themselves because they're forced upon them by their parents.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like influences, for the most part, yeah, I believe so. And also, I think if you grow up in like a sexually free house or loose house, so to speak, depending on how you want to say it, and like you see people being their carefree sexual selves, then you might be carefree sexual as well. You may, you know, grow up thinking that nothing is off limits, so therefore I can love who I want to love, right? So yeah, I think it can definitely influence you.
Do you think, regardless of what religion it is, do you think religion has a very is like a big defining factor for people's sexuality?
Of course, religion been controlling people since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of cultures don't believe in same-sex relationships for men or women. So, and that's often geared by religion, especially you know we know as Christians don't like nothing but man married to woman.
Right.
That's it. So yes. Religion been controlling people's lives a lot.
A long time. But I also think that a lot of times what it boils down to is your child. What kind of bothers me is when like that sad Netflix series called the Trials of Gabriel something.
Yeah,
they thought he was gay or something, and that's what somebody told me. I didn't look into it for myself.
I didn't watch it. I don't like watching tragic things like that.
Yeah. And I just think it's unfortunate that when kids show just a little hint of something, that we tend to define them so quickly.
Yeah.
And we never allow the kid to grow up. We're not gonna go too deep into this subject of like transgenders, but like a lot of times when kids may express a little bit of wanting to be the opposite gender, we never give them the opportunity to develop, but we just change them or assume, you know what I'm saying?
Some people are really quick to change their kids' sexuality. I think in that case, I think it's like a parent wanted a daughter and their son's like, oh, I want to be a girl. They like, yes, boom, let's do this. And then of course with everything that's might slightly different or may come off as embarrassing, a lot of parents gonna like shut it down immediately.
Right.
No, you're a boy and that's that. That's in that. So in that regard, I do think that can cause some issues. And it's like kids just be talking. Just let kids be kids. If your son shows affinity for like girl dolls, that's There's nothing wrong with that. If your girl want to play with G.I. Joes and trucks, cool, bet, fine. Because in the Dominican Republic, there's this genetic anomaly. Also, I learned this from the 9 Months That Made You, where boys, like a third of the boys on the island grow up or are born with no penis.
Oh, okay.
Like real talk. They're born and people think they're girls. And so it's not until they start to hit puberty that they actually grow their penis and are shown to be boys.
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious. And so a lot of the mothers end up raising their sons like girls.
Oh, because they think they're girls.
Because they think they're girls. And they have an inkling because a third of the country. So they're like, he could be, she could be a he. And so they'll raise them as daughters, and then their kid gets to decide, I think, on like a birthday or something, whether they want to be a boy or a girl.
Oh, okay. And so I think that's good to where they get to a certain aspect where they can make a more mature and logical decision for themselves. We as parents, well, I'm talking about we as parents, like
we
I'm
ain't
parents. But as parents, I think, but parents, oh gosh, but parents, I think sometimes we be so quick and we have, that fear of whether, I don't know what the fear is of their children being gay.
It's embarrassment. The fear of embarrassment. That your child is not, quote unquote, normal.
Oh, okay.
Because normal is heterosexuality. Anything other than that is seen as weird, different. Which is just, it is what it is. It's not weird or different. It's just what it is. Heterosexuality is just one aspect of sexuality for people. So yeah, it's the fear of embarrassment, especially if you're a Christian, or if you're like a preacher, a deacon, or a prophet, or something high up in the church. Right. Churches don't like anything that's not heterosexual. So for your child to say they're homosexual or transsexual or pansexual, it seems as a failing on your parenting. Right.
And I think that's wrong. It has nothing to do with you as a parent. You know what I'm saying? It has everything to do with that person. Yeah. That person. So at the end of the day, I believe that parents lay the foundation for their children, but it's the children, they build on that foundation that was laid. Yes. So you can have a strict heterosexual household, but at the end of the day, if your child decides that they want to engage in same-sex relations, and that's on them, it has nothing to do with you,
No, it doesn't. Yeah. Because at some point, your kids are going to go off and be their own person anyway. So you might, just like you say, guide them and be a quality human being. Right. Yeah.
And I think that's why it's important to still love your child. You may not agree with their lifestyle and what they're doing, but that doesn't mean you neglect them or you kick them out or you take extreme measures like some people have tended to do. You can still love on them, even if it's from a distance. You know what I'm saying? So... sexuality is a very touchy subject, and it's viewed in so many different aspects, so many different lights, so many different opinions. There's no one set thing, unfortunately.
No. Yeah. I think it's just, as long as they're not hurting anyone else or themselves, let people live the life they choose to live.
Oh, amen. Because every time I read a story about some gay person getting bullied or getting killed or killing themselves because they're getting bullied, I'm like, why are y'all so bothered by someone and what they're doing with their life? They not paying your bills. They not in your house.
Not in your bed.
Exactly. They not doing nothing for you, so why do you care what they're doing? Somebody you may never ever see again in your life, and you trying to hurt them. Like, do that make sense? No. Do you think those people are struggling with their sexuality, or you just think those people are just pure mean, or both?
Both, all of the above. I think a lot of people, if you're struggling with your own sexuality, you're going to definitely lash out on someone who hits on you. Because men who are confident in their sexuality, if they get hit on, they're just like, I'm not interested, bro. But also, some people, if you try really hard to come off as masculine and someone hits on you, you're going to take that to offense. Like, well, no, how dare you hit on me? I'm a man's man. Right. And so, yeah, it can come off, it could be a wide variety of things. Being offended because, I don't give off gay vibes, how dare you? Or being feel like you're being exposed, so you lash out in order to keep your image. Because Lawrence was telling me about the story. This girl was going over a dude she was seeing house or something. And she ended up catching the guy having sex with another man. And she told him, she tried to blackmail him. That's what she did. And she went on Facebook Live and, she told him, I'm going to expose you if you don't give me X, Y dollars. Well, they ended up killing her.
Oh, wow.
And keep her from blackmailing them and exposing them. Well, in the end, they ended up getting exposed anyway. The story. But that's the levels people will go to.
Right. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To hypersexuality.
Yeah.
Because that just full circle around the idea of being masculine and being feminine, especially in the Black community.
Oh, child.
You know, a man, especially as a Black man, if he's known to like other men, you know, he's gonna be seen less of a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because of how we have defined the men's roles, defined the men's responsibilities, how a man should be. I don't think any man is a less of a man because he's attracted to another man.
Yeah.
As long as he's still taking care of his household, still prioritizing, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so this is all of this whole sexuality things. A lot of it for men is defined by patriarchy.
Yes.
Patriarchy hurts
yeah.
men a lot more than it hurts women,
Mm-hmm.
in that it doesn't allow men to be other than one exact thing.
Right.
They're not allowed to show emotions.
Mhm.
They're not allowed to be well groomed.
Mm-hmm.
Men aren't even allowed to like hug other men because it could be seen as gay.
Right.
Which is silly because women can hug other women and nobody bats an eye about it. Women are allowed to be a lot more sexually fluid than men are.
Yes.
Men are allowed to either be straight or gay, and if you're gay, then you're frowned upon.
Yes.
So yeah.
I think. Oh, damn, what was I about to say? Oh, okay. Yeah, so like that takes me back to the flip the switch challenge. If you are secure in who you are and you know who you are, or you yourself, not nobody else, you shouldn't be concerned with what somebody else is doing with their, you know, with their body or with the way that they dress. No other man or no other woman should be able to bother you to the point where you are, you know, lashing out or killing people or anything like that because of what people may think or how it may see you. That just goes to let you know that one, you're ashamed and you're not secure in who you are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, one man or woman's sexuality has no bearing on your own.
Yeah, none at all.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? No. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Hey Sissy podcast. We appreciate you for tuning in yet again. If you have any ideas you'd like us to discuss on this season 2, you can email us at heysissypodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Instagram or Facebook at Hey Sissy Podcast. Goodbye.
All right, be breezy.